Okay, it looks like we're live. Hello, and welcome back to my stream. Today I'm doing something a little different. Instead of doing the Rust roguelike tutorial, I'm going to be doing Advent of Code. Let me switch over to my screen here. There we go. We got Advent of Code 2021, which unlocked at midnight. I can't stay up that late for me, but we can at least take a look at it. I'm logged in. What I need to do first is create a repo for it. So let's go do that. Let's create a new repo and pull it down. So we can Advent, oops, here we go. Advent of Code 2021. Public repo, sure, and Rust, right? Gotta do Rust, use MIT, and create the repo. All right, so let's pull that down here. Oops, like that, and git clone. Boom. Oh, right, because I have it set up differently. Nope. Config. What do I have it set up? Oh, just GitHub. Okay. There we go. All right. A couple of false starts, but we got it. And we do this, and we say cargo new. Oh. Let's do... right, so because I want to do a cargo new into this, and now it's all going to be different. So how do we handle this? I guess I don't need the cargo new. I can just say, I just create my cargo toml directly, right? Right, you can just call it this Advent of Code 2021. Get rid of this. And we don't need any dependencies yet, I think. I think that's the default, right? And if I say meter source, vim source main, then, oops, and vim. Okay, so I messed something up. Cargo new blah. Cat blah cargo toml. Package and dependencies, yeah. What did I get wrong? Okay. So Advent of Code. Cargo build. Yeah, so that works. Okay. And this is Advent of Code 2021. Source main. No, it doesn't like something. Failed to parse manifest. Lib section or bin section must be present. Maybe if I just write this. Right? Will that be enough to get it to... Yeah, okay, so that was the problem. Hi, Knock. How are you? Did you try Advent of Code this morning? No spoilers, please. If you did, I'm just starting now, trying to get this up and running. So what we're going to do is try to set up a decent project config. And I think the way I want to do it is... there source day 01, and then inside source day 01 we'll pull in some code, right? Source day 01 mon.rs pub fun day 01, and we'll just I don't know, println in day 01 like that, just to test to see that we can actually use it. So I should be able to say use day 01 here, maybe, and then say day 01. What did I call the function? Day 01. Okay. Day 01. Like that. Let's see if that checks. Nope. There is no day 01. I say mod day 01. Like that. Okay, now we got 2 warnings. What are the warnings? You did. Was it really easy? Usually the first one is pretty straightforward. Oh. Create advent of code should have a snake case name. Should I create a new? Yeah, let's create a brand new repo then, and then we'll push that as a separate thing. Cargo new AOC 2021. I'll just call it that. And then we'll just move advent of code 21 source day 01 into source here. And then copy advent of code source main into source, right? Had to mess about with Russell. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing advent of code as well. So I've been doing the whole roguelike tutorial, and it's great because I'm learning a lot of Rust as I go, but I'm typing in their code, and now I have to invent my own code, right, in order to solve problems. So that's what's going to make this a little more fun. So cargo run. Cargo check. Okay, so now it's not complaining about this, but I'll have to create a brand new repo. I just created this. I'm going to have to get rid of that. And what does our git ignore look like? Just target. Okay, that's fine. Git commit. No, git add. You decided not to use RLTK for that tutorial as a challenge. Oh, good. So what did you use instead? Were you going through the WASM stuff, or are you just compiling it natively? Git add dot. I guess for the first commit, it doesn't hurt to do a git add dot. Git commit dash m. What do we do here? Initial structure. Cat cargo toml. Okay. So now that we have the basic structure in place, let's talk about solving day 1. I'll have to figure out pushing this up later. There's a way to do it into a brand new repo, or I can overwrite the existing repo somehow. You're minding your own business on a ship at sea. When the overboard alarm goes off, you rush to see if you can help. Apparently one of the elves has tripped and accidentally sent a sleigh keys flying into the ocean. Before you know, you're inside a submarine the elves keep ready for situations like this. It's covered with Christmas lights, because of course it is, and it even has an experimental antenna that should be able to track the keys if you can boost its signal strength high enough. It's a little meter that indicates the antenna signal strength by displaying 0 to 50 stars. Oh, okay. So we're going to be in the sub for the entire trip. I decided to use macro quad, which has graphics rendering rather than terminal style. Okay. Build your game with sprites and all that? Yeah. Have you looked at Bevy? I was thinking of taking a look at Bevy, the Bevy engine for that. Your instincts tell you that in order to save Christmas, you'll need to get all 50 stars. Right. Collect stars by solving puzzles. We know that part. As the submarine drops below the surface of the ocean, it automatically performs a sonar sweep of the nearby seafloor. On a small screen, the sonar sweep report, your puzzle input appears. Each line is a measurement of the seafloor depth as the sweep looks further and further away from the submarine. For example, suppose you had the following report. This report indicates that scanning outward from the submarine, the sonar sweep found these depths, and so on. I did see a a small series that somebody re-implemented Pong using Bevy, and it was kind of interesting to watch as they went through that and dealt with ECS and dealt with Bevy. I should dig that up and post a link to that. All right, so we're going to count the number of times the depth measurement increases from the previous measurement. Okay, so we're going to have to start off by, well, let's grab our puzzle input. So this is what my puzzle input looks like. Very, very long. All right, so let's save that. Input day 01.text. And let's copy it over here. Make their inputs. Copy downloads input day01.text into inputs. And it is 2,000 lines long. Okay, and looks like it's mostly increasing. All right, so the next thing we need to do, well, let's go into, come on, there we go, day 01. Right, so what we need to do is figure out how to read lines from a file. So I think that's straightforward, right? We have the file crate, or not the file crate, the file import, right? Use standard fs file. We do that, and actually this is I'm going to eventually refactor into its own little utility thing. But just to get day 1 going, I'm going to do this. If you see me like, thanks Doc. If you see me like banging my head against the wall, that any help would be great. If you see me, if you see me struggling, basically, yes, I would appreciate any help you can give. But I think we can do, we can open a file using file open, right? File open. And we'll call it inputs, input day01.text. And I think we need to do an expect here, right? We're not doing system engineering programming here, so and let's just, if this works, we should be able to print the number of lines in the file. Oh, we have to go through a buff reader, if I recall correctly, right? Bust buff reader. Yeah, it's in standard IO. Yeah, so this is what we want. File open, reader, okay, perfect. And we can just say let buff equals buff reader. New file. Oh, I forgot the equal sign. Right, and that one doesn't need, that doesn't return a result. This one has a question mark on it. This one does not. So then we should be able to print lines in input and just say buff lines len. Maybe? Let's see if that works. Oops, I hit save instead of check. Oh well, cargo run. Method not found in buff reader file. I thought buff reader had lines. Get a buffer new and it returns a buff reader file. Okay. Let's see. Those are the only methods, right? Buffer, capacity, seek relative, buff read. Can fill buff, consume, read line. Yeah, there's lines right here. Oh, it returns a lines. Yeah, right here. Search for it. You're right. I should have done that instead of just trying to struggle. So it returns an iterator over line. So we need to actually do something like lines is equal to buff.lines dot collect vec string, something like that. Let's see what this says here. Yeah. Oh, we have to unwrap it. We have to unwrap it. Okay. So before we do that, we have to map line. I use L there, but I'll put the full word. And then just say line, and we need to unwrap like that, and then collect into a vec of strings, right? And then we can just say lines len. Expected one of 7 possible tokens. I have the collect syntax wrong. Oh, I needed the, I missed that one. Still have an error. Method not found. Buff reader, new file, right? So it's returning lines. I mean, lines is something it implements. Oh, you know what? I probably need to, do I need to add it from the prelude? Yeah, okay. Man, that's so sometimes sometimes Rust's error messages are really good and sometimes they're not so good, right? This was telling me it couldn't find lines, but lines is right here, I swear. So you have to import the prelude for the compiler to actually see the fact that that method exists. Okay, so we were able to read all 2,000 lines. Neat. Okay, now we just have to parse them into numbers, right? Because all the input is just numbers. Yeah. Read the bottom bit of the error. Oh, okay. You're right, Nock. Thank you. I only read the top part because that's all the window, and I didn't even think of opening the error window any bigger. Day 01. Okay. So now we need to convert this into numbers. So let's say let mute nums equals vec vec I32 maybe equals vec new, right? And then for L in lines, can we just say can we just say lines dot map num dot parse, maybe dot collect, and just set it like this. Nope. All right, this time I'm going to make the window bigger. Method cannot be called on vec string due to unsatisfied trait bound. The following trait bounds are not satisfied. Vec string iterator, which is required by mute vec string iterator, which is required by mute string iterator. After sometimes your eyes immediately goes to the part where the help is. Okay, yeah, I'll get there eventually, right? So I'm interested to know why I can't map over a vec. I thought you could do that. Or you have to map it over an iterator? Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm not sure. Oh, I have to probably unwrap? Yeah, because it's saying you can't build it from result, so maybe I have to unwrap this. Got 3 warnings. Oh, and that's probably because I'm not using the variables or something. Okay. So let's hope that that's the case. And now we can loop over our numbers for n in nums. Right? So we're going to start, and we have to return the count of times it increased. Right? Oh, there should be a way to grab pairs of vectors. Oh, this is something I was going to do next. Yeah, got to keep that. All right. Rust. Iterate vector pairs. Right, I want to compare 0 and 1, and then 1 and 2, and 2 and 3. Chunks 2. Okay. Oh, that's chunks 2. That'll go 0, 1, and then it'll compare 2 and 3, and then 4 and 5. That won't do 0, 1, and then 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3. Vector adjacent pairs. How to mutate adjacent pairs of a vector. Rust adjacent pair iterator. I guess we need a crate for that. Okay, you know what? I can just do, I'll do it the simple and easy way. Let num equals nums of 0. Let, oh, it's got to be mutable. Count equals 0. And then we say nums 1 to nums len. If num is less than nums of n, count plus equals 1, num equals nums of n. This is a very brute forcey way to do it. What you want does exist in standard. Yeah, please tell me the name, please. Oh, vector windows. Is this where I make a dumb joke about I'm working on a Mac? Okay, so in Windows, next back, nth back, try R fold. Okay. So I need an example is what my brain needs. So slice windows. Okay, so that's the iterator. Click the Windows link in the first paragraph. Okay, yeah. So slice windows. Yep. Same thing. Okay, that's what I want. I did type all this in, so I'm just gonna preserve it real quick, and then we'll do it here. So for I in nums windows 2, and we need to import that standard slice, right? Something? Maybe star like that? We'll figure it out. Rust will tell us. And then, so we'll just compare if I of 0 is less than I of 1. And then we do need this mutable count here. Count plus equals 1. And I'm sure there's a way to do this with a map. And it's a println total count. Oh, let's just say part day 1, part 1. Count. 3 warnings. Oh, this doesn't need to be mutable, and I don't need to import slice. Okay. Why did I think nums needed to be mutable? Wow, that all worked. Cargo run. All right. Well, we got a number, 1581. Let's see what we get. That's the right answer. Yay. Okay. Thank you, Doc, for your help. And we can get rid of all of this. And then we're going to get to part 2 as soon as I check this in. Git status, git add source, and inputs, git commit -m, day 1, part 1. Yay, thank you, Knock. All right, now we're going to work on day 2. There we go. One thing I would like to know, and if anybody knows, I appreciate that, is how to get FZF to not, to ignore anything in the git ignore. All right, continue to part 2. Whoa, okay, this looks a little more complicated. Considering every single measurement isn't as useful as you expected, there's just too much noise in the data. Instead, consider sums of 3 measurements sliding window. Oh, okay. So we're just going to change windows to 3. Is that it? Start by comparing the first and second 3 measurement windows. The measurements in the first window are marked A. Their sum is 607. The second window is marked B. Its sum is 618. The sum of the measurements in the second window is larger than the sum of the first, so this first comparison increased. Your goal is to now count the number of times the sum of measurements in the sliding window increases. I thought, I would have thought it would knock, but you know, I hit Control P and it's pulling up all of the things in my git ignore, right? I have target in my git ignore. It looks like it's ignoring dot files. Oops. Dot git ignore. Yeah, I have /target in my git ignore, so I'm not sure what the deal is. All right, so part 2 should be pretty easy, right? We could just set count back to 0, and then say for I in nums Windows 3, if I, oh, yeah, we have to compare. Oh, we have to compare it with 4. That's the trick, right? Because we want to see if, oops, I did 4R4. Okay, we want to compare 0, 1, and 2, the sum of these, 0 plus 1 plus 2, with, is it less than 1 plus 2 plus 3? So we need a total of, we need 0, 1, 2, and 3 in order to do the comparison. So we open the window to 4, and we can say I of 0 plus I of 1. This is the silly way to do it, right? Plus I of 2 is less than I of 1 plus I of 2 plus I of 3. So we're adding I of 1 and 2 together twice. So we can say the common, let common equals I of 1. I'm doing premature optimization because that's the way my brain works. If 0 plus the common is equal to, is less than the common plus 3, right? And then if we're doing that, aren't we just comparing these two? Aren't we just comparing 0 and 3? Because the only way that this would increase, because these are going to be the same no matter what. So these are a wash. So we're really comparing this and this. Right? Did I overthink this? Did I overthink this? I got 1618, and I'm going to try it, and then we'll have to think about. Consider the sums of the 3 measurement sliding window. How many sums are larger than the previous? You always have to reread the question because the question might be different to what you're doing up here, right? So how many sums are larger than the previous sum? Well, I'm saying it's 1618, and that's the right answer. Okay, so that's all I had to do was compare those. Wow. Okay, so we got this. I want to click on share. on Twitter. I don't know if I have my Twitter set up though. Yeah, see, I don't have my Twitter set up. I'll do that in a second. Once I'm offline. Yeah. So that was interesting to see, to think my way through that, because you're thinking that these two and these two are always going to be the same for A and B. So really, you're just comparing the first and the last. And if for something this small with 2,000 inputs, it doesn't really matter. In terms of speed, right? But yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's check that in. Git add source. That's the only thing, right? Yeah. Oh, what I haven't done is played around with format and Clippy. Let's do that. Okay, so Clippy reformatted this for me. All right, and then again, I'm going to pull these out. This is going to be a common thing that we're going to need. So I'm going to make a utility out of that, but we can do that tomorrow for tomorrow's advent of code. What I should do is check my leaderboards. I don't have my own private leaderboard, but I can take a look at shellcodes. How did I do? Oh, look at that. Number 20. I'm number 8th. And then Sam, I'm 4th. Yay! And then this is on ToggleBits, the one on ToggleBits thing. I'm not surprised. I'm 9th. Carson, you can do it. I know you can do it, Carson. Okay. I don't know who he is, but I believe in him or her. Okay. So how do I get back to the calendar? There. Let's push this. So I think, how do we push a repo? We have to overwrite the existing repo. Git push, force push, right? To GitHub. How do you do a force? Wow, this is blinding white, isn't it? And I need to set the repo up, right? Git config. Yeah. You know what? I can do that here, right? Because this has got the wrong name, so I can delete this repo under settings, right? Go all the way down to the bottom here, delete this repo, add Uncle Scientist Advent of Code 2021. I understand the consequences. You can rename too? Okay. Then I'll just rename it AOC 2021. Is there a rename? Terminal here. Oh, right there. AOC 2021. Rename. Okay, and then head it over here, git config, and I can just grab remote origin. I can grab these guys, right? And just paste these here and change this to AOC 2021, right? And then I should be say git push -f remote, something like that. How do you do it? Git push force origin. Main. Something happened. So let's see. Yep. So I don't have README and I've lost my license. But that's okay. Oh, I forgot to commit. Day 1, part 2. Done. Okay. Excellent. So that was good. And now, switching gears completely, I think I need to add a